What's up, Josh?
No, stop.
You know, so it's like get one of these waters and get some of that get 2 packs of that vitamin C in there. It's cause that somebody put the air on yesterday, being hot, y'all running in and out. Yep. Get 2 of them. Drink the water down a little bit before you put it in. Happy Monday, beautiful people. Happy Monday, happy Monday. Betwabu, remember? Betwabu means what? House of the Father. That's how people greet each other. Betwabu, meaning we recognize and we're calling out that you are the house of the Father. I am the house of the Father. Yes, baby girl. What's that noise? It was probably the dishwasher you heard. All right, beautiful people. So today, it is Monday, March the 30th, 2020, day 110. And you know what? Today is my 41st birthday. Yay! Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Can't really do too much because I'm on quarantine. Everybody on quarantine. But they ain't really like lock us down. But everybody do their part. Stay at home. But anyway, I decided I'd give you my update because I told y'all a few weeks ago that I was starting a 40-day fast. Not really a spiritual one, but for my health. You know, and I told you I keep y'all updated. I think I gave y'all maybe 2 updates. You know, I think when I was on I don't know, day 10. And then, thank you, Tiffany, thank you. And I think again, towards the end on day 34 with my shenanigans. And I set my blood pressure up, you know, so I didn't quite go the entire 40 days I was there, but the day of my shenanigans, day 34, 35, when I was cooking, and I could have went the rest of the few days, but because of my shenanigans that particular night when I was cooking and I was, tasting the soup, the broth off of the meal that I had made for him in a crock pot, and just got super good to me, and I had a little more than what I should have. Remember, the next day I think the title of that particular day was, I need to confess my sins to the brethren. I think that's what it was that morning I gave what happened to me the night before. So, let's see. The first week was extremely hard, getting over the hunger pains and stuff. And once you get the ghrelin under control, the ghrelin and the leptin is what controls the appetite. So after about 3-4 days, it depends on your body. About 3-4 days that the ghrelin kind of goes away, and the hunger pains are a lot less. They're just a lot less. You still get hungry, but the hunger pains, they last a shorter period of time. Like when you first start, the hunger pains are there for 2 hours. But if you ever paid attention, say if you're out working or something, or you're just out busy and you realize you're hungry, but you're too busy, or you're in the midst of doing something, you forget about it, and you can, after you realize, I didn't get anything to eat, but you're not hungry anymore because it subsided. It takes anywhere from, I don't know, an hour to 2 hours, maybe not that long, to go away. Because when you're used to eating, if you're used to eating 3 times a day, you trained your body to be expecting food 3 times a day. So about that time when you eat every day, I'm telling you, these bodies are amazing machines. About that time every day, your body begins to produce gastric acids and everything to prepare for the incoming meal so it can begin breaking down. So when you don't get it, you feel that hunger and that ghrelin, okay, where the food at? We done produced all this. And I learned a little while ago, probably about 2 years ago when I fast, I learned it from Miles Monroe when they was doing a church fast and everything. Listen to one of them. He did a whole thing breaking down what happens with the body on fasting. So I watched that. He said those are just hunger pains. He said those are just gastric acids. Your body is expecting food. He said drink water, you'll be okay. Just wash them away. So I kept that in mind this time too. Although I was looking at other fasting videos and everything, So, like I said, after the first week, it was extremely, extremely hard. But once my body realized there wasn't any more food coming through my mouth, it began to go inside and take the food from the stored places where I had stored food. And like that first week, I lost like 12 pounds the first week alone. And I think a lot of it was water weight. I don't know, because who can lose that much weight in that much time? You know, so your body begins adjusting and healing itself. So if you retain water a lot, they can retaining water can add like 10, 20 pounds. Sometimes, depending on how big you are, it could be a lot more for some other people, especially because the salt and the sodium and all that stuff in your body swelling. You know, so when you go on an extended fast and water only fast, your body begins to heal itself. So nothing is coming through your mouth. Now you give your digestive tract a time to rest. So sometime in the first few days, even the first week, you feel really tired. It's because your body is adjusting and it goes in and your body prioritizes things in a way that it thinks it should be healed. And when you do a water fast, all the energy is taken and redirected to healing your body. So when you're eating, all the energy that you get from your carbohydrates and all that stuff, it takes all of that and it focuses on your digestive tract to break down everything you just ate. And if you eat a heavy meal, that's why people get the itis. If you eat a heavy meal, after you eat, that's why you feel tired, because all your energy in your body has been redirected to your gut, so it can begin breaking down all those foods and stuff you just put in your mouth. And especially if you don't eat like a plant-based diet, you just gonna take a long nap, maybe an hour, maybe a little bit longer. But when you go plant-based, that's something that I noticed a while ago, but even more so towards the end of this fast. I did 35 days. I didn't actually make it to 40, and I really could have, but because of my foolishness and what I had did with the eating of the soup and sent my blood pressure through the roof, because I hadn't had anything in my body but water for like the last 34 days. So when I realized what I had done, and y'all told me, hey, your blood pressure is high, you know, so I had to offset that. I was drinking water and I had to eat some greens. I ate some spinach, ate some cantaloupe. I also had watermelon, you know, so those things that with potassium that offsets high blood pressure, because my hands, my arms were numb, my legs were numb, and it felt like I was gonna like fall down. That was dangerous. People with high blood pressure that live with that on a daily basis, like we said before, it's also called hypertension. It's a silent killer, especially among our community, because of all the soul food and all the salt and stuff we put in our food. You can make your food soulfully and season it really good without salt. There are other seasonings and stuff that you can use that doesn't have all that sodium, natural flavorful seasonings, and it'll give it, even like things like Mrs. Dash, although I don't use it a lot, it doesn't really have all that sodium that salt has. Matter of fact, I think it's completely salt free, but it won't drive your blood pressure up, but it still seasons your food really, really nicely. So things that I experienced. For one, I was taking I think I told you this before. I was taking Motrin for like a couple months because of my sciatic nerve. It wasn't so much my sciatic nerve. It was my piriformis muscle that's located right in the middle of your butt. So literally, like I said it before, it was really a pain in my butt. And what it did, with it being constricted, it laid on my sciatic nerve, and it would shoot pain from my lower back all the way down to my big toe. And the pain was debilitating. Like I would have to lay down on my stomach, you know, till the pain go. I had to lay there at least 20 minutes for it to, you know, to decompress and get off my nerves. So that pain pretty much went away. So, and I haven't taken Motrin since, like, I knew I was going to do the fast. So I started kind of like not taking Motrin a lot. And I don't know that people can be addicted to Motrin, but I don't like pain. So I was taking Motrin, and Motrin is an NSAID, which means it can affect your liver. And I had been taking it for months, sometimes 2 times a day, 800 milligrams. You know, so I was like, this can't be good. I gotta stop this. So a couple days prior to actually starting the fast, I stopped taking a Motrin. I dealt with a little bit of the pain, but I was careful in how I moved and operated, and I was only eating like plant-based foods and stuff before I started, just to kind of make sure I wasn't adding any extra stress to that, you know. So that pain pretty much almost went away. So I can tell if it ain't completely healed now, it's about there, because I haven't had to take anything. That I didn't really have any other other issues going on with my body, but I also mentioned that I hadn't had a cycle in years because I was on birth control, but water fasting will also cleanse out your woman parts and any kind of toxins or anything. So I started getting a cycle again, even while still being on birth control, so it began to push out the toxins in my body. I'm like, I'm gonna really have to be careful, so I don't know how effective my birth control is at this point, but that I am almost sure of. And I looked that up too. So water fasting can make you fertile, so be careful, especially we in quarantine. We can't have none of that. I ain't had no quarantine babies. So that, let's see. I don't know, guys, when you go vegan, I'm not sure if you ever paid attention to it, but some people get musty or whatever. I never really want to get musty, but I noticed even when you begin to eat plant-based, body odors go away. Not that I have body odors, but I noticed I really had no need for deodorant anymore. Even now, I haven't worn deodorant just because I don't need to. My body doesn't produce odors, that's a good thing, so also not just odors there, but when you go to the bathroom to do the number 2, when you're eating plant-based, there is no odors. And I used to hear that while looking. I say, I don't know about all that. But when I started eating plant-based, that's one of the first things I began to notice. And I would personally, I have to personally check, and I would notice it anytime I would go that there was no smell. I mean, you got to think about it. Your body gives off odors when you eat meat because your intestines are so long. Our bodies weren't designed to eat meat. We were designed to eat like fruits and veggies and nuts and stuff like that. Meat eaters were designed like fangs and stuff like that. If you look at like tigers and lions and stuff, they're designed to eat meat, and their intestines are a whole lot shorter. So when it comes in, it does what it needs to do, and immediately it passes out of their bodies. Not our bodies. That's why a lot of people, Americans and other people who consume large amounts of meat, they get colon cancer. And not a lot of time, it comes from meats putrefying in your system, like literally rotting in your system, in your intestines. And it doesn't always pass through. Our intestines are so long, it's designed to, when we eat what we were designed to eat, a plant-based diet, it was designed to be so long. Mommy, so we can, so our bodies can get every bit of nutrients out of the plant-based diet that we, that's why it's so long and it is wrapped around. So by the time it passes through, it would have been able to take everything from the leaves and the plant-based diet, the fruits and all those things, take it from it and assimilate it within our body and give it its, so we can live our best life pretty much. And then and whatever is not needed is discarded, so I noticed that. But also something I noticed, so the last few days of the fast that I didn't do just water, I was eating pretty much raw. So I was doing salads, and I was putting everything on my salads, like peppers, jalapenos. If you've never had a salad with jalapeno peppers, let me tell you something. Food ain't never taste so good to me. Like raw food ain't never taste so good to me in my life. I don't know, maybe it's because the last 34 days, 34 days, I had been consuming just water, that it's like, oh my gosh, we got food now, but it's really, really good. So let me see, was any other things? Oh, and when you're doing a long water fast, maybe like the first few days or whatever, you will still have a bowel movement, but as long as you go, you don't have a bowel movement at all. So I didn't have one for about, after day 5, I had no other bowel movements, not until like day 37 when I started, eating like the fruits and veggies, because I was actually consuming stuff, so I had to pass through my system. So when you're not having one, it's because you're not putting anything in. But depending on how you ate beforehand, they call it mucoid plaque, and that's all that caked up, backed up plaque that's sitting in your intestines that got stuck on the walls all throughout your life. You consuming a poor diet. Depending on how long you fast, you probably should fast until you pass that. So some people, they may pass that towards the end of their fast. Some people may pass that. Let me tell you, I did a fast. It wasn't this long. Last year, it was about 15 days, right? And that was like the longest I did a water fast. So, day 10, and because before that, I had already converted to a plant-based diet, I didn't really know about mucoid plaque. But last year, that's probably why I didn't pass it this time, because it happened to me last year when I did just like that 15-day water fast. On day 10, that all that black stuff came out of me, so I don't think that none of that is in me anymore, because since then I've been plant-based, raw and cooked foods, So, but some people, when they fast, when it gets to that point, all that backed up material in their colon gets rehydrated after. Okay, so if you're only consuming water, first, like I said, the water will go in and your body will decide what that water needs to be distributed to do whatever it. What did it do? Pour some of it out, please. To hydrate your body and do whatever it needs to do to heal your body, whatever. Then it'll work its way to the colon at whatever time period it thinks it should make it there, and it'll rehydrate that old material in your colon, which is a really good thing. That happens to people sometimes while they're on their fast toward the end of it, if it's a longer fast, like a 40-day water fast. But some people, that doesn't happen to them until they actually start to refeed their bodies after their water fast. Now, when you're refeeding, is probably one of the most important things. You don't want to go back to eating the way you were if you were eating poorly, because all that progress that your body has made over them last 40 days healing itself with the water and stuff. And I had like a small little facial breakouts, but I understand and knew that was something. I had like some nausea some days, but I understood that was a part of the detox process. Had a headache for a couple days, but I understood it was a part of the detox process. So I was ready for all that. So I understood, and I didn't break my fast early on because of those little small things. I had dry mouth, extreme dry mouth, like waking up, felt like my tongue was dry, my mouth was dry. So, that was bad for the first week, and even like the second, third week, but it wasn't as bad. But all those symptoms I experienced. So, that like I said, I didn't have any really major issues going on with me aside from the sciatic pain and the nerve pain in my butt, so that was like it pretty much took care of itself, and so towards day 34, that's when I started, refeeding myself, and I, raw spinach, the cantaloupe, watermelon, and everything. And once people refeed themselves with the right stuff, like with a raw diet, fruits and veggies, it'll go in, and it'll also help because now you're getting that fiber in. It'll go through the colon, and whatever like mucoid plaque you have, it'll begin hydrating that. Because water doesn't necessarily go to the colon. It assimilates itself through the body in other places. But when you eat foods that are high in water content, like watermelon and cucumbers and stuff like that, it goes to the colon. So the water that's in that food helps rehydrate that stuff that's in the colon. And also, if you have parasites, doing a water fast is a good way to get them things unhooked from your body and pass out of your body. So if you had stomach issues, parasites, anything like that, water fast is the way to go to get all that stuff out of your system. So, but yeah, so I almost made it 40 days. I said I want to do a 40-day fast before my 41st birthday, while I'm in my 40 days while doing a 40-day fast while I was 40 years old. So had I not pulled that foolishness that day I was cooking, I probably would have did. And I said I was going to add a couple extra days because of that foolishness. But I just stuck with the raw fruits and veggies on the last few days of it. And I did saute some vegetables or whatever, made it warm. And another thing, also when you eat, you can tell there's a difference when you eat a plant-based diet or when you eat a salad. When you get full off a salad, you're not slow and groggy and sleepy. You literally, it gives you energy. It's a different kind of full, but you're full. And it's a content, satisfying full. And like you don't, like I said, you don't get sleep. You didn't just put more energy in your body to help make your body better. So that was my 40-day water fast update. So I'm done with that. I am okay. Put it in there. And not just because of the foolishness in my last 5 days, because I really wanted to do water only. But like I said, when I did that and shot my blood pressure up, I just really wanted to be on the safe side. And just refeed my body with raw fruits and veggies just so I can get nutrients in, just to make sure there wasn't anything else going on that could have possibly happened when I drove my blood pressure up. So one of the biggest things I lost, hold on to it, I lost 30 pounds. Like the first week of that, like I said, I lost like 12 pounds within like the first 10 days, but over the rest of the period, I lost the rest of the weight. And when I started refeeding, though, for real, honestly, I gained like 10 pounds, about 10 pounds back, and that's to be expected when you do a water fast. You start putting food back in your body, but it's gonna level off, and that weight will be like a permanent weight loss as I continue to eat plant-based diet. And I'm gonna be eating raw for a while, so I don't know that I'm gonna really ever go back to cooked foods. I mean, maybe potatoes or something here and there, but I realize potatoes, they can kind of weigh you down a little bit too if you eat too many of them, but it's still healthy, potatoes and sweet potatoes and stuff like that. So those things, and sauteing some veggies, that may be the only cooked foods that I have. But I noticed there's a major difference in my body when I eat raw plant-based and when I eat cooked foods. Even if it's healthy cooked foods or vegan cooked foods, I don't like the feeling. I like to stay full of energy and everything. So that's why I've decided to, for one, go plant-based and mostly a raw plant-based, so really be on top of that now with the raw, because, I really want, my weight to get back to where I want it to be at, and not, and eating raw, it'll do that over the course of time. You see a major difference even in like a year's time, just eating raw, because you're doing nothing but putting nutrients in your body, good stuff, and it tastes it, uses it, and your body just does what it does. So any extra weight or any extra things that you're carrying, it'll just fall off, even without doing exercise or anything like that. It really will, So that was my update on my 40-day fast. Water fast, so technically 35 days of water, and then fruits and veggies on the last 5 days. So, but I am going to have another go at it again, but next time I won't tell you about it, because although I'm going to lose weight on that one, it's going to be more of a spiritual fast, so that one will be a private thing, but you may be able to tell the results of it. And I think I may it'll be in a few weeks or so. But yeah, I just wanted to give you the update on that because it was more for health reasons, and I had already started telling you about it, so I figured let me give them a final update, so it was pretty cool. So on with today's reading, people. Like I said, it is Monday, March 30th, 2020, day 110, and we are in 2 Kings 18, 19, and 20. That's pretty fast reading today. Yep. All right, so Alicia, hey girl, hey, Betswabu. All right. 2 Kings 18. Hold on. Oh. Betswabu. Okay. Now it came to pass, excuse me, in the 3rd year of Hoshea, the son of Eli, king of Israel, that Hezekiah, the son of Ahaz, king of Judah, began to reign. Oh, let me say something real quick. I was watching myself on a video yesterday, and I think I was talking so fast I didn't hear myself say it. I said this right here. I said, this is our test and a quiz all in the same book. What I meant to say was, Yah has given us our instruction and study guide and the tests and quizzes all in one book. It's like the Old Testament is all the instructions and everything. It's our study guide, literally our study guide for life. And then when you get to the New Testament, it's like you're tested on all of that knowledge. And I don't think people pick that up a lot of times. So if you study the Old Testament, it's easy to see some things that might be a little out of place in the new, or mistranslations and stuff like that. So that's what I meant to say. I said we have our instruction manual and our test all in one book. You got to think about it. Back in the day, y'all tested them because they were still in the land, so they were like constant little tests and everything that they had to pass. Not that he was testing, but he gave them the commands and they had to follow them. But since we're in captivity, he still talks to us here. You know, some people may call him by another name, but so I'm not so. I used to be like, that's not his name, that's not his name. I will correct some people when we're talking, or if they're saying like Jesue, I just say Yahuwah. You know, but and a lot of people tend to think that they're the same person and they're not the same person. So I try to make the distinction or whatever. If it's somebody, you know, if I feel like they can catch on to it, I'll try and make the distinction where, you know, because even the New Testament, it doesn't teach you that they are one person. You say you got the Father and you got the Son. They can't be one person. What they're talking about, they're one, that they're in unity. Like my family unit, we're one, but we're separate people. And they try to explain that like that. So I get what you're saying, but they're two separate people. You know, and you know, so people, if they can take that, I'll explain that to them. But that's what I meant to say when I say that we have our instructions and our tests, our guide, all in one book. We study from here and we're tested from here. And everybody got probably 15 Bibles in their house that they don't read anyway. You know, so we're gonna be held accountable for some of that stuff. Like, you got everything you need is already right there in your house. As a matter of fact, we got it on our phones and don't listen, don't read it or nothing, you know. So, and we fail the test, you know. I don't pass them all the time, you know, but there are some things that I clearly know. And if it's something that I'm not aware of, that's where y'all is so faithful. You figured that's what I meant. Thanks, Tiffany. I don't know. Thank you, Trina. Happy birthday to me, Best Boo. Yeah, that's what I meant. So I don't all the time watch the videos after I do them, but sometimes I'll go back and watch it. And that's how like, I don't know if you ever watched it in my early videos. I used to like cover my mouth a lot, and you know, I'm just like, if I just keep talking, I'll get better at it. You know, so afterwards I would go back and see how I talk, because I had a time like presenting myself in front of people. Like, I would be like scared to talk in front of people, and just like, you know, and I wanted to break myself out of that, you know, because I was an introvert. I mean, I'm still an introvert, but I realized I stumbled over my words a lot, and I couldn't, how I heard it in my head or how I thought about it in my head, I wasn't really able to convey it out of my mouth the way I thought about it in my mind. So I figured if I would like read the Bible out loud, or, you know, if I would record myself doing videos every day, just talking, because I didn't talk a lot. Like, if I'm an introvert, we just quiet all the time. So I figured I had to develop that part about myself some way. And I actually learned that through a company that I did network marketing for years ago, Empower Network. He said, you want to get better at speech, at how you talk, how you present yourself, do a video every day. He said, I don't care what you do, just record yourself every day and watch it and see and begin to notice things about yourself and how you talk and all that. I just did it. And some people, when they talk, they don't realize, they say, they have these things that they do, like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They do things like that. And I did like, a whole lot. It was like 75% of my video was, because I'm trying to get my thoughts to time right with me opening my mouth and stuff. So sometimes I would draw blanks and stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just did that video. He said, but do the videos. He said, upload YouTube videos. But I made a lot of them. I had it like not searchable, but I put them there. People would find them sometime or whatever. But I wasn't looking like for views or likes or anything. But I just kind of wanted to put it out there. And if somebody made a comment, I would look at it. And if there was any kind of criticism or feedback that they had given me, like, girl, where you learn to talk at? You know, I would take it and use it as corrective criticism for myself and just make myself better. Thank y'all I didn't have anybody that went in too hard on me, you know, but I just began to pay attention to my mannerisms and how I spoke. And I realized over time that I got better. And then I wasn't so afraid to actually talk in front of people in like real life. And then it was a year we went down to Texas, and I had already been doing it for like a year. And we went to my husband's sister's retirement party, and their MC didn't show up. You know, and so they look around, who we gonna get to do her? She had a whole little retirement ceremony. They had the mic and the podium and everything, right? And I'm sitting over there. Then they were calling around and everything. And his parents was like, I ain't doing it. We the parents, you know, so they sitting over there and everything. And then His sister, wait a minute, Pam, you do videos, right? You be the MC. You be the MC. Yeah, we got an MC. I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't agree to that. Yeah, what would you do? Wait, you mean I gotta stand on the stage and do that? No. I'm gonna sit right here because I'm family. I'm gonna sit here and enjoy your day with you. Pam, you better get up there, take that mic. And I'm like, so I'm sitting there, I'm like, whoo, and I start sweating under my arms and stuff. I'm like, okay, so I knew his family, but she had all her military friends and stuff there at her retirement ceremony, and they got a whole big stage with a mic and a podium and stuff. And I'm like, what I'm supposed to say? She said, just like introduce everybody. We got the little thing right here, the order of events. She said, just read them, So I'm like, okay. So I got up there, and I'm like, hey everybody. And I was like, hey. I was like, first time doing this. So if I stumble over my words or anything, forgive me ahead of time. I said, if I pass out from stage fright, somebody just get some water, throw it on my face. And it kind of broke the ice a little bit because it made everybody giggle and stuff. And it helped me to calm down a little bit. So that day, that day, it was pretty funny. But I realized it wasn't so bad actually standing up in front of people, and I didn't actually die. So I had a couple more instances where I had an opportunity to do that. I didn't volunteer. I was just kind of chosen for it to do it, so but that's kind of how it broke me out of the stage fright and everything. But I realized actually doing it actually really did help me to present myself better and to talk more fluently was my goal, so and it's actually just kind of become a love, so I actually like talking. I actually like reading. Some people how can you read that every day out loud? Well, for one, we only doing 3 chapters, so I just like talking. I realize I actually like talking. I'm an introvert. I like talking some days, as you can see. But anyway, that's what I want to say. It reminded me that I was bringing back, the correction, what I meant to say. And that I just thought that story just kind of went with it. Okay. Also, yesterday I said it's about time we get to a righteous king. But I was talking about King Hezekiah because it boarded up back here, but it didn't actually get into it, which I thought it would. We'll do your nails in a little bit, babe. But it starts with King Hezekiah today. So, hey, shush. Okay. All right, y'all. All right, I'm done talking. Now it came to pass in the 3rd year of Hoshea, son of Elah, king of Israel, that Hezekiah, the son of Ahaz, king of Judah, began to reign. 25 years old was he when he began to reign, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Abi, the daughter of Zechariah, and he did that which was right in the sight of Yahuwah, according to all that David his father did. He removed the high places and brake the images and cut down the groves and brake in pieces the brazen serpent that Moses had made. For unto those days the children of Israel did burn incense to it, and he called it Nehushtan. Okay, so if you realize, I don't know if you noticed, even some of the other kings that were considered righteous in Yahuwah's sight, notice that it pointed out that they corrected everything in the land, but none of the previous kings removed all the high places. King Hezekiah was the only one so far that it said he removed the high places and brake the images and cut down the groves and brake in pieces the brazen serpent that Moses had made. For unto those days the children of Israel did burn incense to it, and he called it Nehushtan. He trusted in Yahuwah, the God of Israel, so that after him was none like him among the kings of Judah, nor any that were before him. See? For he clave unto Yahuwah and departed not from following him, but kept his commandments which Yahuwah commanded Moses. And Yahuwah was with him, and he prospered him whithersoever he went forth. And he rebelled against the king of Assyria and served him not. He smote the Philistines even unto Gaza and the borders thereof, from the tower of the watchman to the fenced city. And it came to pass in the 4th year of King Hezekiah, which was the 7th year of Hoshea, son of Elah, king of Israel, that Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, came up against Samaria and besieged it. And at the end of 3 years they took it, even in the 6th year of Hezekiah, that is the 9th year of Hoshea, king of Israel, Samaria was taken. Bella. Okay. And the king of Assyria did carry away Israel unto Assyria, and put them in Halah and in Habor by the river of Gozan, in the cities of the Medes. because they obeyed not the voice of Yahuwah their God, but transgressed his covenant and all that Moses, the servant of Yahuwah, commanded, and would not hear them nor do them. In the 40th year of King Hezekiah did Sennacherib, king of Assyria, come up against all the fenced cities of Judah and took them. And Hezekiah, king of Judah, sent to the king of Assyria to Lachish, saying, I have a... Oh, they're out there checking. I was like, who is this little dude? Oh, they're out here checking the meters. And Hezekiah, king of Judah, sent to the king of Assyria to Lachish, saying, I have offended. Return from me. That which thou puttest on me I will bear. And the king of Assyria appointed unto Hezekiah, king of Judah, 300 talents of silver and 30 talents of gold. And Hezekiah gave him all the silver that was found in the house of Yahuwah and in the treasure of the king's house. At that time did Hezekiah cut off the gold from the doors of the temple of Yahuwah and from the pillars which Hezekiah, king of Judah, had overlaid, and gave it to the king of Assyria. And the king of Assyria sent to Tartan and Rabsaris and Rabshakeh from Lachish to King Hezekiah with a great host against Jerusalem. And they went up and came to Jerusalem, and they were come up. And when they were come up, they stood by the conduit of the upper pool, which is in the highway of the fuller's field. And when they had called to the king, there came out to Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, which was over the household, and Shibna the scribe, and Joah the son of Asaph the recorder.
Yeah,
I see. Okay. All right, they all uniform. I'm just, this some weird activity. I'm just making sure. They got a city truck, but this other van that just pulled up. You got to make sure you know shenanigans going on right here. They probably don't know I'm sitting here and can see them.
Mommy.
What, Booty?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mommy.
Huh?
Can you take a bath?
Yeah, okay, you get a bath in a minute. Hold on. Okay. Okay, Bella. Hold on. And Rabshakeh said unto them, Speak ye now to Hezekiah, thus saith the king, thus saith the great king in Assyria, what confidence is this wherein thou trustest? Thou sayest, but they were but vain words. I have counsel and strength for war. Now on whom dost thou trust, and thou rebellest against me, that thou rebellest against me? Now behold, thou trusted upon the staff of this bruised reed, even upon Egypt, on which if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So Pharaoh, king of Egypt, unto all, so is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, unto all that trust on him. But if he say unto me, we trust in Yahuwah our God, is not that he whose high places and whose altars Hezekiah hath taken away, and have said to Judah and Jerusalem, ye shall worship before this altar in Jerusalem? Now therefore I pray thee, give pledges to my lord the king of Assyria, and I will deliver thee 2,000 horses, if thou be able on thy part to set riders upon them. How then wilt thou turn away the fence of one captain of the least of my master's servants, and put on thy trust on Egypt for chariots and for horsemen? And I now come up without Yahuwah against this place to destroy it? Yahuwah said to me, Go up against this land and destroy it. Then said Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, and Shebna, and Joah, unto Rabshakeh, Speak, I pray thee, to thy servants in the Syrian language, for we understand it, and talk not with us in the Jews' language in the ears of the people that are on the wall.
Mommy.
Wait a minute.
I don't have Robux.
I know, I'll get you some today. Hold on. But Rabshakeh said unto them, Hath my master sent me to thy master, and to thee to speak these words? He hath sent me to men which sit on the wall, that they may eat their own dung and drink their own piss with you. Oh, whoa. I must have missed that last time. No, I read it from the Sefer the last time. Let me read it again. But Rabshakeh said unto them, Hath my master sent me to thy master, and to thee to speak these words? Hath he not sent me to the men which sit on the wall, that they may eat their own dung and drink their own piss with you? That's harsh. Then Rabshakeh stood and cried with a loud voice in the Jews' language and spake, saying, Hear the words of the great king, the king of Assyria. Thus saith the king, Let not Hezekiah deceive you, for he shall not be able to deliver you out of his hand. Neither let Hezekiah make you trust in Yahuwah, saying, Yahuwah will surely deliver us, and this city shall not be delivered into the hand of the king of Assyria. Hearken not to Hezekiah, for thus saith the king of Assyria, Make an agreement with me by a present, and come out to me, and then eat ye every man of his own vine, and every one of his fig tree, and drink ye every one the waters of his cisterns, until I come and take you away to a land like your own land, a land of corn and wine, a land of bread and vineyards, a land of olive oil and of honey, that ye may live and not die. And hearken not unto Hezekiah, when he persuadeth you, saying, Yahuwah will deliver us. Well, he about to get them into all kinds of trouble. Hath any other gods of the nations delivered at all his land out of the hand of the king of Assyria? Who are the gods of Hamath and of Arpad? Where are the gods of the Sepharvaim, Hena, and Eva? Have they delivered Samaria out of my hand? Who are they among all the gods of the countries that have delivered their country out of my hand, that the Lord should deliver Jerusalem out of my hand? But the people held their peace and answered him not a word, for the king's commandment was saying, Answer him not. Then came Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, which was over the household of Shebna the scribe, and Joah, the son of Asaph the recorder, to Hezekiah with their clothes rent, and told him the words of Rabshakeh. Boy, he real bold, right? 2 Kings chapter 19. And it came to pass, when King Hezekiah heard it, that he rent his clothes and covered himself with sackcloth, and went into the house of Yahuwah. And he sent Eliakim, which was over the household, and Shebna the scribe, and the elders of the priests, covered with sackcloth, to Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amos. And they said unto him, Thus saith Hezekiah, This day is a day of trouble, and of rebuke, and blasphemy, for the children are come to birth, and there is not strength to bring forth. It may be that Yahuwah thy God will hear all the words of Rabshakeh, whom the king of Assyria, his master, has sent to reproach the living God, and will reprove the words which Yahuwah thy God have heard. Wherefore lift up thy prayer for the remnant that are left. So the servants of King Hezekiah came to Isaiah, and Isaiah said unto them, Thus shall ye say to your master, Thus saith Yahuwah, Be not afraid of the words which thou hast heard, which the servants... Yes. Okay. Be not afraid of the words which thou hast heard, with which the servants of the king of Assyria have blasphemed me. Behold, I will send a blast upon him, and he shall hear a rumor, and shall return to his own land, and I will cause him to fall by the sword in his own land. So Rabshakeh returned and found the king of Assyria warring against Libnah, for he had heard that he was departed from Lachish. And when he heard say out of Tirhakah, king of Ethiopia, Behold, he is come out to fight against thee, he sent messengers again unto Hezekiah, saying, Thus shall you speak to Hezekiah, king of Judah, saying, Let not thy God in whom thou trustest deceive thee. Oh, he big bold. Saying, Jerusalem shall not be delivered into the hand of the king of Assyria. Behold, thou hast heard what the kings of Assyria have done to all the lands by destroying them utterly. And shalt thou be delivered? Have the gods of the nations delivered them which my fathers have destroyed, as Gozan and Haran and Rezeph and the children of Eden, which were in Thalzar? Where is the king of Hamath and the king of Arpad, the king of the city of the Sepharim, of Hena and Eva? And Hezekiah received the letter of the hand of the messengers and read it. And Hezekiah went up into the house of Yahuwah and spread it before Yahuwah. And Hezekiah prayed before Yahuwah and said, O Lord God of Israel, which dwelleth between the cherubims, thou art God, even thou alone, of all the kingdoms of the earth. Thou hast made heaven and the earth. Yahuwah, bow down thy ear and hear. Open, Yahuwah, thine eyes and see. Hear the words of Sennacherib, which thou hast sent him to reproach the living God. Of a truth, Yahuwah, the kings of Assyria have destroyed the nations and their lands, and have cast their gods into the fire. For they were no gods, but the work of men's hands, wood and stone. Therefore, they have destroyed them. Now, therefore, O Yahuwah our God, I beseech thee, save thou us out of his hand, that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that thou art Yahuwah, God, even thou only. Then Isaiah the son of Amos sent to Hezekiah, saying, Thus saith Yahuwah, the God of Israel, that which thou hast prayed against Sennacherib, king of Assyria, I have heard. And this is the word that Yahuwah hath spoken concerning him. The virgin daughter of Zion hath despised thee, and laughed thee to scorn. The daughter of Jerusalem hath shaken her head at thee. Whom hast thou reproached and blasphemed? And against whom hast thou exalted thy voice, and lifted up thine eyes on high, even against the Holy One of Israel? Remember when he said whenever you hear them say the virgin daughter Israel or the virgin daughter of Zion, it's still talking about the children of Israel. When there is a righteous king ruling, they're called the virgin daughter, the virgin daughter of Zion. But when we went into captivity, now we're called captive Zion, or us here today, we are called the captive daughter of Zion, or the captive daughter of Jerusalem, because we're in captivity. Right. Whom hast thou reproached and blasphemed, and against whom hast thou exalted thy voice, and lifted up thine eyes on high, even against the Holy One of Israel? By thy messengers thou hast reproached Yahuwah, and hast said, With the multitude of my chariots I am come up to the height of the mountains, to the sides of Lebanon, and will cut down the tall cedar trees thereof, and the choice fir trees thereof, and I will enter into the lodgings of his borders, and into the forest of his Carmel. I have digged and drunk strange waters, and the sole of my feet have I dried up all the rivers of the besieged places. Hast thou not heard long ago how I have done it, and of ancient times that I have formed it? Now I have brought it to pass that thou shouldest be to lay waste fenced cities into ruinous heaps. Therefore their inhabitants were of small power. They were dismayed and confounded. They were as the grass of the field, and as the green herb, and as the grass on the housetops, and as the corn blasted before it be grown up. But I know thy abode, and thy going out, and thy coming in, and thy rage against me. Because thy rage against me is thy tumult. Because thy rage against me and thy tumult is come up into mine ears. Therefore I will put my hook in thy nose, and my bridle in thy lips, and I will turn thee back by the way which thou camest. And this shall be a sign unto thee. Ye shall eat this year such things as grow of themselves, and in the second year that which springeth of the same, and in the third year sow ye, and reap, and plant vineyards, and eat the fruits thereof. And the remnant that is escaped out of the house of Judah shall yet again take root downward, and bear fruit upward. For out of Jerusalem shall go forth a remnant. And they that escaped out of Mount Zion, the zeal of the Lord of hosts shall do this. Therefore thus saith Yahuwah concerning the king of Assyria, he shall not come into this city, nor shoot an arrow there, nor come before it with shield, nor cast a bank against it. By the way that he came, by the same shall he return, and shall not come into this city, saith Yahuwah. For I will yes, baby. Seasoning, put it down. But girl, get down.
Can I make this?
No. Put it back.
Hot and break this and outside.
For I will defend this city to save it for my own sake and for my servant David's sake. And it came to pass that night that the angel of Yahuwah went out and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 185,000. And when they arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses. So Sennacherib, king of Assyria, departed and went and returned and dwelt in Nineveh. And it came to pass, as he was worshipping in the house of Nisroch, his god, that Adramelech and Sharezer, his son, smote him with a sword, and they escaped into the land of Armenia. And Esarhaddon, his son, reigned in his stead. All right, y'all, last chapter for the day. 2 Kings chapter 20. In those days was Hezekiah sick unto death, and the prophet Isaiah the son... Get down, Bella. And the prophet...
Mom, they're not being outside.
No, we're not taking those outside. We're not seasoning food outside today. We're going to do it right in here.
No.
And the prophet Isaiah the son of Amos came to him and said unto him, Thus saith Yahuwah, Set thine house in order, for thou shalt die and not live. Then he turned his face to the wall and prayed unto Yahuwah, saying, I beseech thee, O Yahuwah, remember now how I have walked before thee in truth and with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in thy sight. And Hezekiah wept sore. And it came to pass, before Isaiah was going out into the middle court, that the word of Yahuwah came to him, saying, Turn again, and tell Hezekiah, the captain of my people, Thus saith Yahuwah, the God of David thy father, I have heard thy prayer, I have seen thy tears. Behold, I will heal thee. On the third day thou shalt go out up unto the house of Yahuwah, and I will add unto thy days 15 years, and will deliver thee and this city out of the hand of the king of Assyria. And I will defend this city for my own sake, and for my servant David's sake.
Mommy.
And Isaiah said, Take a lump of figs. And they took and laid it on the boil, and he recovered. And Hezekiah said unto Isaiah, What shall be the sign that Yahuwah will heal me? And what shall I go up unto the house of Yahuwah the third day? And Isaiah said, This sign shall thou have of Yahuwah, that Yahuwah will do the thing that he hath spoken. Shall the shadows go forward 10 degrees, or go back 10 degrees? And Hezekiah answered, It is a light thing for the shadow to go down 10 degrees, nay, but let the shadow return backward 10 degrees. And Isaiah the prophet cried unto Yahuwah, and he brought the shadow 10 degrees backward, by which it had gone down in the dial of Ahaz. Meaning, he took time back instead of going forward. Hezekiah said it's an easy thing to send time forward, but send time back. And they track time with sundials and everything. And you can do it today if you know how to do it. It's really, really easy. But so they know, of course, they've been watching it forever, so they know that the sundial never goes back. Like, the sun doesn't move backward, it always moves forward in its rotation. He said it's an easy thing for y'all to speed it up. He said, but let him send it back 10 degrees. So he said, let that be the sign that he will surely do what he said he would. And Isaiah, verse 11, 2 Kings chapter 20. And Isaiah the prophet cried unto Yahuwah, and he brought the shadow 10 degrees backward, by which it had gone down in the dial of Ahaz. At that time, Berodach Baladan, the son of Baladan, king of Babylon, sent letters and a present unto Hezekiah, for he had heard that Hezekiah... Did I stop? Okay. And Hezekiah hearkened unto them, and eschewed them all the house of his... Yes, Bella. Put it back up there. Leave it alone. Nope. Don't take any more out. Put it back up there.
No, just up here. Just up here.
And Hezekiah hearkened unto them, and showed them all the house of his precious... Bella. And Hezekiah hearkened unto them, and showed them all the house of his precious things, and the silver and the gold and the spices and the precious ointment, and all the house of his armor, and all that was found in his treasures. There was nothing in his house, nor in all his dominion, that Hezekiah showed them not. Then came Isaiah the prophet unto King Hezekiah, and said unto him, What said these men? And from whence came they unto thee? And Hezekiah said, They are come from a far country, even from Babylon. And he said, What have they seen in thine house? And Hezekiah answered, All the things that are in mine house they have seen. There is nothing among my treasures that I have not showed them. And Isaiah said unto Hezekiah, Hear the word of Yahuwah. Behold, the days come, that all that thou have in thine house, and that which thy fathers have laid up in store unto this day, shall be carried into Babylon. Nothing shall be left, saith Yahuwah. And of thy sons that shall issue from thee, which thou shalt beget, shall they take away, and they shall be eunuchs in the place of the king of Babylon. Then said Hezekiah unto Isaiah, Good is the word of Yahuwah which thou hast spoken. And he said, It is not good if peace and truth be in that... Is it not good if peace and truth be in thy days? And the rest of the acts of Hezekiah and all his might, and how he made a pool and a conduit and brought water into the city, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah? And Hezekiah slept with his fathers. And Manasseh his son reigned in his stead. Thank you, Tylane. Thank you. Hey, Christina. Hey, girl. Hey. Girl, baby. Okay, y'all. Y'all here. All right, y'all. So I hope y'all enjoyed the reading for today. That was 2 Kings 18, 19, and 20. All right, day 110. It is March 30th, 2020. Also, it's my 41st birthday. Hey, it's your birthday, shawty. Okay. All right, y'all. So with that being said, if you missed the reading, go on back and you know what to do. You can listen to me talk by just playing the video once it's posted, or you can go read it on your own time, or listen to it if you got the Bible app or whatever, or just read it for yourself. You ain't gotta stop there, but you can go ahead and read it ahead. If you missed some stuff, go ahead and back and read what you missed, whatever. Hey, just as long as you get it in you and you understand what's going on, so you learn how Yahuwah operates, so you can clearly see what's going on today with His people, Israel. It's about time for us to stand by and watch the salvation of our God working on our behalf. Guys, these are exciting times. It's scary times for a lot of people, but these are exciting times for Jacob, for the sons and daughters of Jacob, or the captive daughter of Zion. I'm telling you, let me tell you one thing. If y'all scared y'all gonna catch the Rona, let me tell you how you keep yourself safe. First and foremost, keep y'all's commands. Y'all say, those who keep my commands, I keep. Keep on listening to people that teach you that the commands are done away with. That's why we're in captivity today, folk. I'm telling you. If you ain't paying attention, it's about time you pay attention. So, seriously, observe and see. Yahuwah also said that He's going to deal with the rebels of our people. Y'all know we got some rebels, the Romans. You know what? Y'all better calm it down. He said, I cannot leave you unpunished, because some of my people in this land still out here acting a fool. We see it on social media. We see it with our own eyes. We hear the foolishness that some of our folk is doing out here. The captive daughter of Zion still acting a fool out here in these captive streets, in our oppressive streets. So, if you don't want to catch the Rona, or some of the following things that's going to follow Rona, you better return to y'all and start keeping these commands. You ain't got to be... People keep calling it. They know I read the Bible first thing in the morning for everybody. Why don't they just join in? Okay, no, seriously. Return to y'all's commands. He said, I keep those who keep my commands. And we see the pattern all through. That's why we're reading the Old Testament, because some churches teach that it's done away with and everything is fulfilled back here. But how do you know what was fulfilled if you don't know what has been fulfilled? Like I said, if you only read in the New Testament, it's just like you're reading just a cliff note. So you have to understand what this is talking about. It's fulfilling by going back here and reading what's in the Old Testament. And that, y'all, is the very reason why I started doing this December 22nd, 2018. To show you that, listen, you have to understand what's back here, because as you read this, you learn about Yahuwah's character and how He operates and how He deals with His people and how He deals with those who take advantage of His people. And even He doesn't just fight for us, He fights for us, but He also uses other nations and He blesses other nations. We can clearly see that. Excuse me. So that's it, y'all. I ain't gonna run my mouth anymore. So watch the video over when I'm done. So let's go ahead and bless everybody, get out here, because the kids, y'all hear Him. May Yahuwah bless us and keep us. May Yahuwah make His face shine upon us and be gracious unto us. May Yahuwah lift up His countenance upon us and give us His peace. And y'all, the blessing is found in Numbers chapter 6, verses 22 through 27. Yahuwah said, this is how you to bless my people. This is how you to put my name on my people. When you do this, I myself will come and bless them. So that's why I decided to do that every day. And I make it personal. I said, may Yahuwah bless us and keep us, because I'm of you. I am no better than you. You're no better than me. He gonna bless all of us. So we just want to be obedient. Everything we can find that we can be obedient, we can apply now, that's what we do. And He said, I'm gonna keep you. I'm gonna keep all those who keep my commands. And that's how we stay safe from the Rona. And wash your hands. Just do. He talk about keeping yourself clean, how to clean your body and stuff. Don't just be out here, you mad because you can't find no sanitizer. Soap and water is better than sanitizer. Clean yourself. Wash frequently, especially if you're out and about. You know. All right, y'all. They doing the most. I love y'all, and I see y'all bright and early in the morning.